fairy treasures. Okay, you guys, I am back at it. We're doing a Mackenzie Childs inspired some wall decor. So you saw the pictures before. What we're gonna do first is we're gonna do these bell shape wooden forms that you get from Dollar Tree. They look like this, and do you get 2 in a pack or 1? I'm trying to think if it's just 1 each. I think it's just 1 each. Yeah, I think it's just 1. Anyway, and they have a piece of burlap string thing on it, but I took that off. Okay, so you can pick up this one. They also have a, in the Christmas wall decor, they have a bell shape also. You can use that also if you can't find these ones, or if you want to use that instead. Okay, so I have this one done already. We need 2 of these, but I wanted to show you what we're going for. Okay, so please don't let me have a crafty avalanche. So let me put this one aside. Here's this one. Now, to prepare the surface, you need to take either gesso or what I use, a thing called Kilz, K-I-L-Z. It's a wall primer. You can use it like a gesso. I think I ended up putting 1 coat on here. You can put 1 to 2 coats. I think I only did 1 coat. It was just fine. Also, you need to remove this thing. Because you need this surface to be white. Plus, you need the surface to be prepared. So, the first thing we have to do is we have to start drawing in our lines, our checked lines. Now, after we get done, I get done painting this one, and we have 2 of these Mackenzie Childs inspired bell-shaped ornament wooden pieces. We're going to attach this to another board that we put together from Dollar Tree signs. You saw the pictures before what we're going for, so just going to show you how I created that. Okay, so we got to first do the Mackenzie Childs. And if you don't know who Mackenzie Childs is, you need to Google that. Or not Google it, just put Mackenzie Childs in, and they have, of course, an online store. And you can go see all of their beautiful things. And when you see that, you'll be so inspired to do Mackenzie Child style types of crafts. So I'll be doing stuff that looks like that's Mackenzie Childs inspired all year round, because I just love it. I want tons of it in my house. I'm very excited. Okay. So what you want to use is some painter's tape. I saw painter's tape at Dollar Tree, you guys. So you can go in the hardware section and get painter's tape. Even though it's painter's tape, which means that it shouldn't rip the paint that's on the surface already off, I would still take this tape, put it on your pants or your shirt a few times, just to make sure that it's not too sticky and pulls anything up. Okay? I still do that even with this painter's tape. Just looking for my glasses. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to show you how I draw in the lines. So I put 2 pieces of painter tape together because that's the width that we're going to want to deal with. Okay. And I'm using a black Sharpie. And the reason I do it like this and I bring the line to meet the line that I just did, it seems to keep me on track. Like the first line I do, I go up. But after that, every other line comes down. And I've said this before, I've done 3-tiered trays like this. We've done quite a few things with these checks. Any imperfections, do not stress about them, because you're going to put more imperfections in your work at the end. So, don't worry. Okay, so now let's take this off. And I always start in the middle with these 2 lines. And where I start at is I start like kind of so I can center them here of this thing here. Okay? I didn't, for some reason, quite didn't get that line in there. So let's just do that really quickly. There we go. Okay. So we're going to continue with these lines. I'm going to do this whole side, and then I'll turn off the camera or pause the camera, finish it up, and then we'll come back and do it the other way, just for the sake of the time of this video. No one has all day to watch me make lines, but you want to know, you know, how to do it, of course. You can turn the frame. Okay, so I lined up my tape with that last one. So now all we have to do is work from one side like this. The only time you're going to work on both sides of the tape is when you do your first line in the middle, your first set of lines in the middle. After that, you already have your first line done, so you're just doing your second line. And if you're not understanding what I'm saying, you're going to as I keep going. Okay. And be careful when you rip up your tape because it could curl up on you. So you might need to, you know, put one down on your surface so it doesn't curl up on you. And for those of you who've been watching my DIYs, which I so appreciate, I'm getting towards the end. I probably have maybe 2 to 3 more left. And then I've got to start decorating my house. To me, I feel a little bit stressed because I usually start decorating November 1st, but I've had so many DIYs that I've wanted to do that I feel like I'm running behind. And people are like, girl, it's not even Thanksgiving. But I do this, like I turn my house into a Wonderland. Basically, it's a shabby chic Christmas, and I do a lot. So I feel like I want to have it done always by December 1st, so I have like a month to enjoy it because it's so much work, you know? So, anyway. Okay, so you guys see what I did. Now, we have to turn it around, and I need to do now this side. So I'm going to pause camera, finish this up, and come back, and then I'll show you how to continue after that. So see you in just a second. Okay, you guys, so I went ahead and finished the lines this way, right? So all of our lines are done. So now we need to do lines going the other way to create checks, right? Okay, so we start in the middle. Now, if you find painter's tape that's about this width, you don't need to put double pieces down. I'm putting 2 pieces down to get the width that I want of these checks. So now we're doing checks going the other way to create checks. So let me just turn it a little bit though so I can be at the angle that I need to be at. Oh, I switched my thing all around so I can be at the right angle. And here, I just like to draw from one line to the next line. See? All right. Did I do both lines? No, I'm going to do the other side of the lines. You guys, I just heard the funniest thing. I was watching CNN, and this guy, one of the, you know how like all the commentators on the news now, when they call in, they have to call in because, you know, because of Corona, they don't go to the studio anymore. So they just call in from their house. So the commentator that he was going to, something happened with his computer and his, you know, and his screen, and he didn't think he was on. So he was like, oh, SH, oh, F, oh, SH, oh, F. He kept saying it over and over. You should have seen the news host face. It was hilarious. Oh my gosh. I don't know how that guy didn't think he was on. Or just think, well, I might be on, so I might not want to be saying the SH and the F word on repeat. So he comes back 20 minutes later. They go, okay, we're going to go back to so-and-so because we had technical difficulties. And so before he goes, well, before we get started, I need to apologize for any expletives that were said. Oh my gosh. It was absolutely hilarious. And the guy, his personality on TV is so conservative that he just, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people cuss, okay? But he just seems like the type of person that would never even say a cuss word. Put him under some pressure. He cusses a whole lot. Oh my gosh. It was hilarious. I'm sure when they got done, like, they're like, you were on when you were sitting there cussing. I'm sure he was like, oh my gosh. Oh my God, that was funny. I don't know what makes you laugh, but things like that kill me. Things like that make me laugh. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing. We're going to finish this side up. And then I will finish up the other side. Then we'll come back and go to the next steps. Okay. These Kenzie checks, you can paint them on anything. So always be thinking of like, oh, that look cool with Kenzie checks. In fact, when you go to the Kenzie Child's website, sign up for their catalog. And that's really nice to get their catalog. I have now 2 catalogs since I've signed up with them. And the catalog is fabulous. It gives you so many ideas of things that you can make. I absolutely love that catalog. Now, I think I might be, let's see, I might be done because I might, but we'll see. You know what? It looks really cool to have the tip of this maybe a different color, especially if it ends up in black in the pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and just put this line here. You'll know what I mean when I get done. Okay, so let me put you on hold again. I'm going to finish up the checks on this side, and then we'll be back to continue on. Okay, so see you guys in a second. Okay, you guys, we are back. Okay, we are back. So, now we need to paint the black and white checks. So, what we're going to do is we need just some black. I use the black apple barrel paint. Cheap, cheap, cheap. And it needs to be matte. Apple barrel paint. It doesn't have to be matte. You could have it shiny if you want. But anyway, 50 cents Walmart. Okay, so we need a little bit of that. And we'll need more than that. And then I like to use a brush like this. That's a liner brush because it gives you a lot of control. Okay, it's almost like using a pencil or a pen. Okay, so look how small that is. You get you can get a pack of pens and I think a pack of liner brushes. These are Mermaid. They're so beautiful, aren't they? Hobby Lobby by the acrylic paints, okay, in the craft section. You get a pack of 10 for like, you get a pack of 8 for like $10 or a pack of 6 for like 4 or 5. Use a coupon. Anyway, okay, so we need to start the pattern. So I'm going to start the pattern as this is going to be white, black, white. Okay, so the middle's going to be black. So let's start doing it there first. This is the part that I love the most. I'm usually in my craft room or my art studio. And I just turn on my iPad. I have Netflix on my iPad. And then, did you guys know on YouTube they have YouTube movies? So you could put a movie in on YouTube. So just look under YouTube movies and you'll find a bunch of movies. I just found Moonstruck, you guys, with Cher. Oh, and Nicolas Cage. I love Cher, and I love Nicolas Cage, so. Oh, I have a story about Nicolas Cage. I was at my gym, LVAC, at Las Vegas Athletic Club. Now, this is before coronavirus, okay? This was actually like a while back. So, okay, oh, really quickly, we're going to do it in patterns. So, black, white, black. No, this has to be white. White, black, white, because this needs to be white under here. So, white, black, white. So, this needs to be black. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. We're starting all the way over here. White, black, white, black. So, this has to start with black. Black, white, black, white. So, this has to be black. Okay, so we start black. Okay, so make sure you're starting in pattern. So all your patterns are lining up. So I'm at the gym, and I always take Zumba, and I also take Mixed Fit. They're kind of like dancey type of aerobic classes. Not kind of, they are. One's Latin based and one's more hip hop. So I was taking my more Latin based Zumba, and so we're working out, we're dancing, and it's all encased in glass. And when I would look to my left. There were, there's like machines there of people doing, I think it's arm machines. Doesn't really matter. Well, when I first walked in, everyone's like, Nicolas Cage is here. I'm like, he's where? He goes, you just walked past him. I go, no, I didn't. So then I go, I'm going to go see. So I went past where he would be at, and I'm like, I came back in the room. I'm like, oh my God, you guys, that is Nicolas Cage. But you could barely tell because he's kind of balding now, and he just went there looking homeless. I mean, his hair was like standing up like a crow. He's kind of balding. He's wearing some white t-shirt that he just looked jacked up. Okay. So I would never thought this was Nicolas Cage. But when I looked at his face finally, I'm like, oh my God, that is Nicolas Cage. So then we're dancing, and I look to my left, cause it's all encased in glass. So people can totally see us dancing and stuff, which is kind of weird. And we can see them working out. But that's how there's several different Las Vegas athletic clubs in Las Vegas. There's a lot of different locations you can go to. So a lot of them are different. But this one has a lot of windows, okay? So I turn to my left, and there's Nicolas Cage working out, doing arms, looking right at me, and I'm dancing. So, and usually that person that's right there usually looks at you while you're doing this, Zumba dancing workout. So he sees me, and then he smiles, and I almost had a heart attack. I smiled back. I'm like, oh my God, that was Nicolas Cage. And I've always been a huge fan, a little disappointed, he wasn't aging too well, but when he's in the movies, they fix him right up. But when he's on his own, you guys, he can be looking homeless. So it was still Nicolas Cage though. So I was like, oh my God, that's Nicolas Cage. So everyone, and I'm at the very end of the first row. I'm in the first row, but I'm at the very end. So there's me, then there's the glass, there's Nicolas Cage. So it's pretty close. So everyone's looking at me because they know I'm looking right at him every time we go to that side. And everyone looks at me, and I go, oh my God. Everybody is just rolling in class. We all know each other because we've all been taking Zumba together for 10 years, The instructor is one of my good friends. And anyway, it was hilarious. And I guess it's not that big a deal. Nicolas Cage, I guess he lives here in Vegas, and he's always going downtown and stuff like that. So, but still, it was just I never thought that I was going to be in that kind of situation. Okay, in pattern, here's black, white, so this needs to be black. That was crazy. And when I was younger, oh my God, I was so in love with Nicolas Cage, okay? So, that was a huge, when Moonstruck was out, I was in love with Nicolas Cage. I loved him in Valley Girls. I loved him when he played that angel. Forgot what that movie was. That was another really good movie. He's a really, really good actor. And now, of course, I'm 51 years old, so I'm not in love with Nicolas Cage. But this is when I was younger. But the fact, you never think you're going to meet any of these people, you know? And I didn't really even meet him. Like, I didn't even say hi to him. Nothing. Some people walked up to him, guys, autograph, whatever. I was so starstruck. I didn't even... I just danced in front of him. Anyway, that was crazy. There's my little Nicolas Cage story. Anyway, the reason that came up too is because Moonstruck, I just saw, came up on my YouTube, on my pad, while I'm watching YouTube on the side, and it said Moonstruck. And you can watch it for free. You don't have to pay for it or anything. So I'll be watching that this afternoon. I haven't seen Moonstruck forever. And that came out my senior year in 1987. God, that was a long time ago. And I just loved that movie. I loved Cher. I loved Nicolas Cage. And I just loved that movie. All right, so I'm just painting in pattern, as you guys see. And hopefully I'm in frame. I'm sure I am. Yeah. So I'll finish this row. And then off camera, I'll finish this up. Then I'll show you guys how to do some inclusions. And then we'll go to the next part, which is to apply this onto, okay, it's the Dollar Tree signs that are the long ones, the long, narrow ones. We're going to put 2 together. And you put them together with popsicle sticks. And I remember when some other DIYers would say you put them together with popsicle sticks. And I thought, how the heck do you do that? And does that really work? It really works, you guys. It works really well. So I'll show that. These 2 of these are going to get stacked right on top of each other on two signs we're going to put together from Dollar Tree. So you'll see as we get there. But you see how this brush is? It's nice. It gives you a lot of control. You can use a bigger brush, but when you use a liner brush like this, you're going to be happier. You're going to be like, oh my gosh. And most of the time when you're doing this type of work, the liner brush is going to work out the best for you. Not always, but a lot of times, because it just gives you more control. And if you have a little corner or a little area to get into, like right there, you can get into it a lot easier. If you get out of the lines a little bit, perfect. Because we're going to come in here and put inclusions in here shortly. And so because you want the work to look hand painted, so you actually put more inclusions to make it even look more hand painted. So if you get out of the lines, like Mackenzie checks, if you look at like her mugs or their plates, you can see where they've gotten out of the lines. And it makes it look more whimsical. So you don't have to fret. You don't have to be perfect. In fact, if you're not perfect, better. And nobody's doing hand painting is going to be perfect. I mean, pretty much. Okay, so you guys see how this turned out? Look how cool this looks. Isn't that looking awesome? Love it. So I'm going to go off camera, finish this up. I'll come back, we'll throw some inclusions in, and then we'll go on to the next step of applying these onto our main board that we're creating, okay? So I'll see you guys in a few. Okay, you guys, we're back. So I went ahead and finished both. Well, this is the other one. This one's the one I just finished, but it's drying. But I already had the other one that I had shown you guys to begin with. So we'll let that other one dry. We'll start doing the inclusions on here. I'm going to bring this down a little bit more. And we'll work on creating some imperfections, right? This is how you make it look very, this is how you put the inclusions or the imperfections in it. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is we'll use white. So just, again, Apple Barrel white acrylic paint. I used to try to get my white and my black in this big 8-ounce bottle. So I would have got the 8 ounce of black, but they didn't have that when I went. So I had no choice but to get the smaller one. Okay. So let's put a little black down here. I like to use like a stiff paintbrush. A stiff brush will just give you it gives you, a stiffer brush is the best. So you can use a stiff brush like this. You can use a fan brush. You can also use a softer brush, but let me show you the effect you get when you use the a stiffer brush. Also, you want very little bit of paint. So get some paint on it and then take the paint off. You don't need very much paint at all. So on the black, you're going to use a little white. You're just going to go through it like this. See the effect that you get? You get that swooshing effect. Okay, so that's why I'm telling you the stiff brush is the best, or even like a fan brush would be good. And I just hit it from all different angles on each one. Okay, hitting it up from, I'm going to add a little bit more paint on here. Hitting it up right through the center on that one, from the side here, from the side here. Okay. So keep making sure that you're hitting it from all angles. I'm going to throw a little, well, I'm just throwing a little bit of paint on here because I got a little black on here, which actually doesn't completely matter. Because again, that's another little imperfection I could have just left. But I'm choosing to go ahead and throw a little white paint on it. Okay. Let me make sure I'm in frame still. You guys can see the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just add all the swooshes. Is that a technical term? Swooshes? Down the center, from coming from the left, coming from the right, coming up from the bottom. Coming up from the bottom, coming up from the bottom. We'll have this coming from the top. Coming up from the bottom. And just hit that a little bit right there. Okay, so see all the beautiful imperfections now? That's the word I was looking for. It makes it look whimsical. Okay, so now I'll leave this brush out because I got to do the other one too. Take your liner brush again with a little bit of gold, and I'm using the Folk Art Inca Gold if you want to get the exact gold that I'm using. This is right next to the Apple Barrel paints, okay, because they also have Folk Art paint there. And for Folk Art paint, it's a little bit, as far as acrylics, it's a higher grade than the Apple Barrel paints. But these are, so these are like 50 cents. These Apple Barrels are 50 cents. These are like 75 or $1, but still one of the cheapest places you can buy your Folk Art paint is Walmart. Okay. So we want to create little inclusions with the gold. Okay. So I just like to go like here and do it like this. I may put some there. The gold is almost like acting as if, as like a lot of things that they do get thrown in a kiln because they're ceramic. I think they're copper with ceramic over it, and some things are just ceramic. Anyway, it seems like a lot of things, other things that they do get thrown in the kiln. Okay. So it's like this gold appears because it was thrown in a kiln. I could be wrong, but they have like these little yellowy gold inclusions on everything. Their plates, their mugs. Sometimes in the white like this, they'll have like a little bit of black in the white, almost like grayish. Especially when you get their catalog, if you don't have very many of the Mackenzie Child pieces, you can look in their catalog and see how they put their inclusions in. The fact there's that little black dot, I'm leaving that. That's just perfect. You can even take and just put an inclusion like that, just right down the center. But it definitely adds the whimsy to have the inclusions. and it takes the pressure off. So you know you're going to put these inclusions in, right? So if you didn't stay perfectly in the lines when you're doing your checks, it just makes you feel a lot more comfortable, like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to go throw inclusions in it anyway. So that's exactly how you need to think of it. And you can put the inclusions so quickly. See, there we go. So we got all the inclusions in. So let me show you up close. Maybe I already have you guys. I have you guys in pretty close so you can see it. So see, look how cool that looks. Doesn't that look fabulous? See, adding those inclusions is what really, it like adds the magic to the whole piece. So you guys, what I'll do is, okay, this one has to dry, which won't take long. I put that aside. I have the other one that I just got done finishing when I was off camera, and it's all dry now. They don't take very long to dry. It's acrylic paint. Let me put the inclusions in this. I'll meet you at another table setup that I have where we're going to put these two long Christmas boards. We'll put them together to make one big board, and then we'll apply these and finish this whole thing up, okay? So I will see you guys in a few, okay? See you at the next table setup. Okay, you guys, we are back. And you guys are like, what are we back with? Okay. I told you we'd come back with a new table setup here. Okay, so what this is, okay, so this is long, okay? And it really goes this way, okay? But I have to do it this way because of the length of, because of my table that I'm working with. Okay, so what this is it's two of the Beware signs back from Halloween put together with the popsicle sticks, okay? So you don't have to use the Beware signs. They have some signs right now, some Christmas, the long ones, right now at Dollar Tree. You can go pick those up. If you have two of the ones left from Halloween, two of them left from fall, put them together. If you don't have any of this and you have some boards at your house that'll work with this technique and it's about this wide, just use that. Okay, but if you have two of these signs that you need to put together, what you do is you take some E6000 and popsicle sticks. And so all you do is you take the popsicle sticks, put the E6000 on the back, and I would use E6000 because, not hot glue, because you need this to, E6000 is the best glue. It glues anything together and it stays together for life, in my opinion. Yeah, it pretty much does. So you put one here, you take another one, put the glue, you put it this way, this way, this way, this way. I put two going this way and one going that way. When it dries, it binds these two pieces together so you get a nice size board, okay? So now you have a nice size board. Now I'm going to turn it over to the other side. At the top, I went ahead and put my string here, my twine, and these two holes. So if you want to hang it, you can hang it. You may just want to lean this behind something for Christmas, depending on how you're going to use it for decoration. So, but that's the way it can be hung up. Okay, so let me... I want to make sure you guys are seeing the top. Okay, you are seeing the top. Okay, and then you can see the bottom if I go like that. Okay, so here's the top of it. Basically, you can see the top pretty well. Okay, so what we want to do is, and remember, this is the top because this is where I have where I strung it, okay? So you can hang it. And like, I'll repeat it one more time. The only reason it's this way, lengthwise, instead of the other way is because, I don't have enough room under the camera for that. Okay, so we want to throw, what I did is I put 2 coats of the Kilz, K-I-L-Z, or you can use gesso, but I would use the Kilz. You get it at Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, $15 a gallon, $8 a quart, and it's like a gesso, but it's a wall primer, and then you can use it also in your mixed media. So that's why I always use Kilz, K-I-L-Z. Okay, I put 2 coats of that here. Now, does it look all even and stuff? No, but it doesn't matter because we're going to distress this further, right? All right, so we're going to use some black acrylic paint, same old apple barrel paint that we've been using. Let me get a little plate here. Paint on. Where are my plates? Here they are. I have my glass mat here pretty much covered up. Okay, so we have a little bit of acrylic paint. You can use either, again, a stiff brush would be great for this too, to put some of these wood striations and a little aging into this, you can use this brush, a fan brush, or like a stiff paintbrush. Okay, so I have the paint here. You want to use just a little bit of paint on the brush. And let's put some striations in here. And you want a very light hand, okay? Not a heavy hand. And on the edges, throw some nice edges on the sides. Little bit of paint though. You don't want very much paint on your brush. If you get too much paint, let it dry a little bit and you can throw a little white over it. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, this throws like some wood grains in it, and it also throws some distressing in it. Just gonna throw a little bit at the top here. Okay. So a little bit at the bottom on these little things. Okay, so I think that's going to be enough. Okay, so now we see that. Let me look and see what you guys are seeing. Okay, so now we have some striations. So it looks like wood, right? Also, it shows some distressing. That's why it doesn't matter that you don't get your white on perfectly. That if some of the brown from underneath shows up through it, even better. It looks like more distressing. Okay, I'm going to put this down for a second because make sure we have enough. So, then what you want to do is you want to go now to our Kenzie child looking bells. Isn't that just so magical? How all of a sudden you're like, bam! And everything just starts coming together. So then what we want to do is line this up at the bottom. Okay, so what I want to do is I don't want this showing here at the top. I want that to be like that. Look how cool that looks. I think that just looks so pretty. Okay, so this is how we're going to glue these two on here. Okay, I'm going to use my E6000. Now, right now, all I have is black E6000 because I accidentally picked up the wrong E6000 color. So it doesned really matter because you're not going to see it anyway. So we're fine with the black. But you definitely want to glue this on with E6000. If you need it to be instantly, be glued on, you could, in between the E6000, use hot glue. And that'll give you an instant adhesion. I mean, let's suppose you're pressed for time and you need to put this up or something. I mean, I don't know why you'd be pressed for time for Christmas, but you never know. You could be doing this project really like before everybody comes to your house for Christmas. Well, probably not too many as they're having anybody for Christmas because of this COVID thing. But at any rate, if you need instant adhesion, you don't have time to wait, you could add hot glue in between the E6000. Let me not get into that topic. Okay. So, I think this is going to line up nicely there. Okay, so there we go with that. All right, let's do the same thing with this one. Put that E6000 on here. Ooh, this stuff smells like all hell. Okay. If you've never heard of E6000, and you know what, I try not to assume everyone's always heard of all these things, because I remember the first time I found out about it, I'm like, where's this glue been all my life? But if you're going to glue plastic or glass, anything like that, it'll glue. Because you know, usually you can't, if you use hot glue on plastic, it'll come right off, right? If you're doing plastic to plastic or plastic to glass, metals don't go with a hot glue. E6000 does wood, it glues glass, plastic, back and forth. So, always have this E6000 in your stash. I would prefer you to get clear, but like I said, one day I picked up the black by accident. I just got some clear in my stash too. I just have to open it up. And this is what, and I had to, actually, I got a little hole in it, but this is what it looks like. It says E6000 on it. If you buy, that's another thing I'm going to tell you. If you buy this E6000 glue at Walmart, it's the best place. Where you go and pick up the Apple Barrel acrylic paints is the same aisle that the E6000 is on. It's only like $3. It's the cheapest. Even if you bought it at any of the craft stores with a coupon, it's still cheaper at Walmart. It's only like $3, so it's your best bet to buy. Best place to buy it at. And it's your best bet. Okay. So press this down so we get an adhesion going on everything. Okay. And I might go ahead and take some, just to make sure everything really adheres good. I'll probably take some like mason jars and put this on top, just in a few areas, just to make sure, you know, it glues down well. Okay. But we don't need to do that while we're on camera. Okay. I'm going to, let me throw a couple more striations on here. And you might want to throw a couple more black striations once you see, you know, where things are at. You might need to have a couple more striations. Okay. Okay, there we go. Now we're probably good. All right. The next thing I want to do is at the top here, it's going to look prettier with a big, huge bow at the top. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make a messy bow. Oh, no, I'm going to show you how to make the Olivia bow. I like to either make the Olivia bow or the messy bow. And the reason I'm not going to make, I usually do the messy bow most of the time, but I'm not doing the messy bow because that's just going to be way too big and take over the whole piece. But the Olivia bow won't. So, I'm going to use 3 different things of ribbon. And the first one I'm going to use is this one. I got it from Sam's Club. You guys, this was only $7, and look at the stripes. Does that look so Mackenzie Childs? And look at the gold edging. Oh, love it. And you get, okay, now this is the other one I'm going to use, and this is from Hobby Lobby, and it's a buffalo check. Now this is also another great deal, and look how big this is. You actually get more, and I got it 50% off, so I got this for $5. I got the other one I showed you, the stripe one, for $7, but you actually get more, quite a bit more on the other roll, but they don't have buffalo check at Sam's Club. So you just kind of have to, maybe they did have, anyway, Sam's Club doesn't always have all of the choices, but whatever you see there, make sure you pick it up, because this is a ton of ribbon. It's your best deal. Okay, so we're going to make an Olivia bow. So I'm going to make it, I'll just do it right on top of here. Just a second, let me see how big I want to make it. This is going to be, yeah, this bow's going to be pretty big. All right, so you fold over once, twice, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. So fold it over on itself 6 times. And hopefully I have my scissors in here that are for fabric, or for, yeah, for fabric. Do I have them in here? Yep, they're right here. And don't worry, that black I just put on there, it's dry now. You use such a light hand with that, it dries pretty instantly. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. While we're here, we could just go ahead and dovetail these ends. You always want to fold it like this and then cut up. If you fold and cut up, you'll get those dovetailed ends. Okay, I need to dovetail the other ends, but they're tucked inside, so we're okay. Okay, so there we go with that. We can show you guys are seeing. Okay, next one, we're going to use the black and white check. Okay, so I want to go a little bit smaller than my first bow. Okay, so I'm just going to measure it out so I'm a little bit smaller. So I'm about right here. That'll be a little bit smaller. Make sure. Let's go a little smaller than that. Okay, so there we go. So we folded it twice. Make sure I'm under the camera. Twice. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Cut this off. Fold this on the ends, dovetailing it. Make sure you cut up. There we go. And now that one's done. Okay. Then we're going to end with this. Now I've only found this beautiful ribbon, this Harlequin pattern, which I am obsessed with. I only found this at Hobby Lobby in the like the floral section, and it's not a good deal at all. I mean, I got it for 50% off, so it was $9.99. I got it for $5, but no. Do you get as much as the other ones? No. But if I ever find this at Sam's Club, I'll buy all they have. Okay, because this Harlequin pattern is hard to find. I'm surprised they don't have this Harlequin pattern everywhere for Christmas. I did find this Harlequin pattern, though, in orange and black at Dollar Tree. I was really surprised. So hopefully next year they have it in black and white at the Dollar Tree even. Still won't be the best deal, but it'd be better than any other deal that I've seen. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And what I did is let me cut this off. What I did is I made that just a little bit shorter. So each row of ribbon is just a little bit shorter, so that it shows up underneath each other. And this is the one, and whatever the one that you want to show the most, put that in front. And I want the Harlequin to show the most, so that's why I'm doing that. Okay. So let's start with the Harlequin first, and take our pipe cleaner. You guys, get your gold pipe cleaners at Dollar Tree right now. It's the best price. You get a ton of them. I think like 25 or 30. I don't know. And to get a pack, a lot of times, like after Christmas, Dollar Tree only sells the packs that have all the colors. Well, I never want all the colors. I want the color I want for that project. But if you buy gold or silver will match any project, right? So pick yourself up 4 or 5 packs if you do a lot of DIYs. So, and then you'll have your pipe cleaners for all year round, and you won't have to pay an arm and a leg when you need to do a project. And then you also won't have to worry about getting a certain color, because you have gold, which can be used for any project, or get the silver, either way. So I picked up probably 7 or 8, so I'm all set for the year for my pipe cleaners. And then every holiday, like, I love pink, right? So also I have pink ones that I bought at Easter time. So I do have a bunch of pink, and I do my Christmas in shabby chic pink Christmas, and now I've added the Kenzie checks to the whole thing. But I also have pink, but you have to pick those up in at Easter time. So I picked up a bunch of pink ones last Easter. So okay, so now we've pipe cleanered all of those on, right? Face that like that. Okay, now let's turn our bow back over, and we need to fluff our bow. So, well, more importantly, we need to separate this bow. Do all of our separating. So let's go through and start getting all the pieces out. Oh, this looks gorgeous already. I love this Harlequin. And if you can, make sure that you get wired ribbon. But if you don't get wired ribbon, like I found some pink ribbon, because pink is some of the hardest ribbon to find right now. It's not wired, but it's really stiff. So at least it'll create the these bows when I pull them out. Okay, here's one that we didn't dovetail, so I'm going to dovetail it really quick. Done. Okay. It's actually not going to be really seen because I just tucked it behind there, but anyway. If it gets seen, it'll be dovetailed. Now, I'm just doing this basically right now, and then I will further fluff it after I attach it to what we're doing. Okay, so now we have the buffalo check. Let's pull those out now. That goes out that way. This, okay, and then here's another piece that needs to be dovetailed. Let me do that. Let's pull that one out. And we got that one pulled out. Okay. Do a little fluffing. All right, let's pull this one out. I think this Olivia Bow is easier than when I make the messy bow. I think it's actually easier. And it's faster. I think I've probably started making the Olivia bow more than I make the messy bow, just because it's so much easier. Okay. Tuck that. All right, let's start pulling these. Okay. Make sure I'm staying in frame here. Sorry if I got to frame it all. Okay. And let's go to the other side. Tuck that a little bit. And let's start pulling this out. Okay. Give them a nice tug to pull them out. Give them a real nice tug. Okay. This really needs a nice, oh, this is going to go inside of here. Any of your dovetailed ends, just stick them inside of the bow. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that gorgeous? Let me see what you guys are seeing. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that gorgeous? Love it. Now, if you need to add some tails, you could cut off a bunch of tails, maybe 6-inch tails, and then attach them here, and then have some tails going down like this, if you wanted tails. But on this, I don't need tails, because if I put tails, it would actually, the tails would start covering up my, my wood sign pieces, and I don't want to do that. So, I don't need tails. Just a second, you guys. I'm making some room for my wood here to come down a little bit so you guys can see. Okay, so now we're at the top, and I want you to, we're going to attach, we're going to glue this on. Glue our bow on. Okay, so we need to get this, and we just need to glue this bow here at the top. Okay? Oh, you know what? I didn't hook up my hot glue gun. Alright, well, you guys will see pictures of it. We'll just act like this is glued at the top. So this goes here at the top. Let's do a little bit of fluffing of this bow so it looks right, because I did kind of smash it a little bit. And then I will take close-up pictures, and the picture will be taken vertically. So this is, so you'll see it vertically, so it's not horizontally. So you can see it, how it would be hung up, facing that way. So we're just fluffing the bow up here at the top, so you guys can see this. Sorry I didn't have my hot glue gun. I just forgot to heat that up. It's a bunch of steps, but it's a bunch of easy steps. Just forgot that one. But we're fine. So we're just fluffing this up again. Fluff, 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 fluff. And then once I get this glued down, I'll probably fluff it even more. So anyway, you would take your hot glue gun, and then you'll just hot glue this at the top. And then you will have, I could mess with this bow forever. Just know, you guys, you can fluff your bow forever. So look how fabulous that's going to look. Oh, how fabulous it does look. Okay. Now, you can get, I don't know if they still had it. They did have buffalo check ribbon at Dollar Tree. But they have a lot of different color ribbon at Dollar Tree. So check it out. But your best bet is getting your ribbon from Sam's Club and getting your ribbon from Hobby Lobby. You get the best deal. At Hobby Lobby, get it for 50% off or use a coupon. It's always $7 for that big, huge thing at Sam's Club. So, but Dollar Tree also has ribbon. Okay, so I just wanted you to see what it looks like. And there we go. Doesn't that look cool, you guys? I think that turned out pretty cool. So like I said, you saw the pictures before, and then there's pictures here afterwards, so that you can see how this looks vertically up on the wall, or however I decide to display it, so you can get the full picture of it. But this is how we create it. I hope you guys like it. I hope you're inspired. Get your Halloween signs out, or your fall ones that you had, the long ones, and put two together. Or if you have a board at your house that's about this wide, just use that. Get some gesso or some kills, paint that up, throw your dark striations, do the Kenzie checks, make yourself a nice little Olivia Bow for the top. And Olivia Bow, I learned that from Olivia's Romantic Home. She, I think, came up with the, yeah, I'm sure she came up with the Olivia Bow, because she calls it the Olivia Bow. And make an Olivia Bow for the top. Okay, you guys? That is it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd love for you to do so. If you can give this video a thumbs up. Any comments or questions, leave them below. Come visit me on Facebook and Instagram. And, oh, if you decide to do this, or any projects that you're doing, whether it's Christmas project, craft projects, whatever you're doing, come join our group. It's called Our Magical Little Place on Facebook, and come show us what you're doing. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see if you guys do your hand at making one of these signs for Christmas. Oh, and the other thing is, you can always make these in your own colors. They don't have to be a black and white. They could be a pink and white. They could be a green and white, a red and white, whatever your colors are. Adjust it to your style and your theme of what you're doing. So like I said, that is it. Make sure you do something nice for someone today. And remember, my friends, we are more alike than we are not. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye. Happy holidays.